My relatives, my family, my people, I stand before you tonight as a servant of the Midegah, as Jessica, as one who has placed his hands upon the old bundles and felt the weight of our ancestors in copper and bark. I stand here not because I am better than any of you, but because the Holy One of the grandmothers and grandfathers have laid a burden on my shoulders to speak of unity, faith, and a heritage in a time when storms are gathering around our lodges. Long before any stranger named this land, our story was already being written. In the record we call Adikdo Dan, Elder Chingun tells us how he sat at his father's side and listened to the old tales of the reindeer people, of star women, of the red metal taken from the bones of the earth, and the great counsels of what was, what is, and what will become. He names his fathers one by one: Nakid, Wabukig, Uchigan, Gichigosekat, the great thunderer, Kechigosekat of the Mayan nation, whose marriage joined north and south into a single line. In his old age, Chingun looked around and saw that war, disease, and dispersal had scattered the sacred writings. Bark scrolls in one valley, copper plates in another, teachings surviving only in the memories of a few elders. So he took up a holy work. He traveled lodge to lodge, he listened, compared, fasted, prayed, and he gathered those fragments into one continuous record, that the children of the future might drink from a single stream instead of many broken puddles. That is heritage. That is faith. That is the beginning of unity, not as a slogan, but as labor. In the copper book, Miskwabeko Jibowe, another keeper, Ga'anabid, writes after the great peacemaker's path on earth is finished. He tells us that when the peacemaker prayed, daylight filled the Star Lodge, and unity and water were sought with equal devotion, as is the Anishinaabeg way. He reminds us that we are spirit men and spirit women, the people, who remember that the Great Spirit walked among us. Those copper plates reach even farther back to the creation prayers, to the Sky Mother, the Sky Father, to the first Anishinaabe formed from red clay, the seventh being, made in the image of the Holy Ones, to bring kindness unto the earth and to steward sea, sky, and land. In those days, our people gave love and kindness unconditionally to all living beings, animate and inanimate, seeing themselves as part of the Great Spirit completely. So here we stand, generations later, holding two great witnesses: the reindeer record, telling how the Star Women's descendants became keepers of caribou herds, copper and sacred lodges, and how a high priest warned them never to trust the gifts more than the giver. Copper records, telling how the great peacemaker walked among the people, how creation was spoken into being through prayers, and how we were made to be stewards and friends of all life. Two records, one story. The story is this: we are a people born from the joining of sky and earth, given power and knowledge not to dominate but to serve, not to divide but to unite. From star women stepping down out of the dancing lights to walk among the Anishinaabeg, to sky woman descending with the seeds of life in her hands. Our heritage begins with the descent, with heaven bending low to meet the earth, from the girl who heard the hooves of the reindeer like words, to the man who felt copper pulsing in the stones, to the eagles resting on the arms of warriors. Our story is one of partnership with creation, not ownership over it. Shingun tells us that the reindeer people made a law that the red metal would never be shaped without prayer, and every piece leaving the valley would carry a blessing. The high priest warned them never to trust in the caribou herds and copper more than the Holy One who gave them. In the copper records, the Great Spirit and Sky Mother declare that Anishinaabe were created to be stewards, to bring forth kindness, to name all beings with respect, to live in such a way that even plants and animals know they are beloved. Those are not just ancient religious ideas, they are constitution of our people. But the records do not hide our danger. In both books there is a warning. In Adik Dodan, the storm clouds gather. The age is called the Great Seeing, because elders can already see sickness and conquest approaching the lodges. In the copper records, a fruit-bearing tree uses its will against the command of the Sky Father and Sky Mother, and its disobedience becomes a memory carried in its own flesh, a sign that free will can bend even good things into harm. So our ancestors knew we are capable of greatness, and we are capable of cursing our own land. My relatives, we stand in another time of great seeing. Today, the storms look different. Addiction, despair, poverty, politics that use us instead of serve us. Churches and lodges fighting over who owns the truth. Families torn apart by gossip and ego. Our young ones They scroll through arguments in one day that our grandfathers heard in a month of councils. We are told that to belong to one camp, we must despise another. But the copper plates and the reindeer scrolls rise up like two witnesses and say no. They say you were made for unity, not endless war. You were made for faith, not hopelessness. You were given a heritage that already solved these divisions long before any colonizer drew borders or wrote laws. When the great peacemaker walked among our ancestors, unity and water were sought with equal devotion. You cannot go long without water before the body dies. So too, you cannot go long without unity before the nation dies. When the reindeer people stood at the crossing of caribou herds, copper, and trade, they created an inner circle where Wabanu, Jesikid, Jisikawinini, and High Priest served together at the heart of the nation. Not to control the people, but to see clearly for them, to bind promises, to judge disputes by teachings older than any single man. That is the model I am called to walk in as Jesikid today. So what does unity look like for us now? Unity does not mean we all pray the same way or think the same thoughts. Unity means we stand in the same circle facing the same center. Unity means remembering that long before the strangers came, before our bands were split by lines on paper, we already understood ourselves as one people under one great spirit, living in many lodges but sharing one fire. Unity means that those who follow the church path and those who walk the lodge path can still clasp hands in the name of the Great Spirit and say, we will not let outside powers play against us anymore. Unity means that when we disagree, as we surely will, we disagree as relatives, not as enemies. The copper record tells us that we are spirit men and spirit women, the people, and that the Great Spirit still sees the light of his first prayer in us. Adik Dodan tells us that when our nation's memory was in danger, one old man took it upon himself to gather, compare, and weave until the stories could live together as one. My relatives, we are that old man now. We are Chingun, traveling between lodges that have become churches, councils, recovery meetings, kitchens, Zoom calls, veterans groups. We are Ga'ana Bid, writing in copper with our lives so that the generations yet unborn will know that the Great Spirit walked among us too. So I ask you tonight to make 3 commitments with me. First, guard your tongue. Our records say that the sacred pieces were scattered by storms of war and sickness. Let us not become a new kind of storm that scatters each other's spirits. Before you speak about another relative, another leader, another community, ask, does this build the circle or break it? If If it breaks it, let the words die in your throat and live instead as a prayer. Second, practice faithful remembering. Open the old stories of your family. Read ours, the Adik Dodan, with your children. Tell them about Star Woman, about the reindeer who bowed their crowned heads, about copper that glows like embers from the bones of the earth. Tell them the creation prayers from the copper records, how the Anishinaabe were formed as a seventh being, called kindness and stewardship. When our young ones know who they come from, they will be less eager to wear names thrown at them by a wounded word. Third, live as stewards, not consumers. The high priest of the Caribou people warned his nation not to trust in caribou herds and copper more than the Holy One. The Great Spirit told the first Anishinaabe that every living thing was entrusted to their care. We cannot say we are a people of these records while we poison our own waters, mock our own ceremonies, or treat our own bodies as trash. Our faith must reach our hands, our diets, our politics, our parenting, our economies. Unity, faith, heritage. Unity because we cannot survive as broken puddles. We must be a single stream that Shingun saw in his spirit. Faith because both records were written for a future generation the writers would never see, and we are living proof that their trust in the Holy One was not in vain. Heritage because our bloodlines, our prayers, our stories all declare that we were never meant to be small, ashamed, or forgotten. We were meant to walk in counsel with earth and sky. The Copper Book bears this title, Men Are Friends in the Heavens. If men are friends in the heavens, then let us be friends on the earth. Let us walk as if unity were as necessary as water. Let us teach our children that faith is not blind belief, but trusting that the Creator's first prayers are still echoing through our bones. Let us honor our heritage, not as a museum piece, but as a living fire we feed with our choices every day. If we do this, then one day, generations from now, when our descendants feel a hunger in their blood and open these records again, they will not say our ancestors failed. They will say they were tested and they chose unity. They remembered, they believed, they left the circle stronger than they found it. That is my prayer for us tonight.